physical education is on a steep decline. So what do we usually do now? And we see that a lot. We see a lot of kids, and we'll talk about that close to the end of class. But one of the big things we see now is children that are constantly stuck where? Here. TV or holding a tablet. And a lot of times we, if you remember, how many remember when tablets were ridiculously expensive? Like, just uber expensive. Just ridiculously expensive. So a couple of years ago, my niece got an iPad, and that one was about $600, but then it was a lot higher even before then. So one of the big things we realize is, what happens now? Parents have more accessibility. If you go to sell one, what do? They have a lot of promotional items where they'll give away an iPad or they'll give away a tablet, and it makes individuals sign up for what? Phones, governmental phones. And so now we see that, we're like, okay, wow, this is awesome. But then you see kids, what? Stuck where? Right there. So as time progresses, we realize that physical growth is happening, but in addition to that, we also have prepubertal growth spurts. How many remember that in middle school? How many were the little guy right there? Raise your hand. How many remember that? Or how many just don't want to admit it? You're like, no.
Still there.
Still there. That can happen too. So one of the big things we realize is that girls and boys remain the same size for most of middle childhood. But girls will begin their prepubertal growth for 2 years before boys, about age 9. So we notice we see individuals starting to like one another, and during that time, you see an initial growth spurt. So now, acceptance by peers. So acceptance by peers. So within this age, we're looking at external appearance and physical competence. So within that, one of the big things is, what are we looking at? So,
are you following a PowerPoint because we can't see it?
yes. Who can see the PowerPoints? Raise your hand.
2.
Winter Rock, Crown Point, Chinle,
No.
and Shiprock can.
Not Tube City.
On Tube City it says device list.
It says Bluetooth settings, device list, add accessory.
I think it's going to be on your end. You're going to have to possibly turn. Let's see. Let me call IT. Hold on. Deviceless. All I see is the wall on you guys' side, Tuba City. I see the corner.
Really?
Yeah, I see the corner. It's staring towards the corner and there's a globe.
Oh, okay.
So this was the little then.
Yeah.
Hello? They're not even picking up anymore.
We can use it.
Don't hurt yourself.
There you go.
You guys got it?
Yeah. But they're all, yeah, but when it's not, see if they can call. Maybe Cody knows. Cody, I think Cody knows. We gotta ask him or Cody.
Are you guys good?
Stays about 90 most of the time.
I know.
Tuba City, are you guys good?
We're gonna go, we're locating someone to, turn it on.
Okay, can I continue?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So now, muscle development. One of the biggest things we're looking at is, as a child is growing, you have bilateral coordination. So initially you have individuals who are now able to move both sides of their body. They're not favoring one side. They have coordination. That's where you see them starting to join basketball, football, everything else. You're seeing them now learn to shoot with right and also left side. You see them throw a ball. You see them do all these different things. They start joining baseball, softball. They're starting to do soccer. They're now learning how to coordinate their body. So within that, you also have an increase in strength, flexibility, impulsion, speed, precision, balance, and rhythm. So during this time, you probably have your nieces and nephews as well as your own children who are within that state where they're saying, yes, these red shoes make me run fast. Right? How many have ever been told that? Oh my goodness, these shoes make me run fast. The reality is,
Cody?
are you guys good? Cuba City?
Okay, they're checking it for us.
Oh, okay. Can you put on mute? All right. So now you have balance and rhythm. So that's one of the big things you're starting to see is the child is able to walk backwards. That's where they're able to do all these different things. They're learning to explore the world even more. So that now they have sports. So within the sports, they're looking at different aspects of sports. Now they're understanding what is competence, character, connection, as well as character and caring. So within that, you're looking at children who are now understanding the concept of rules. So they're understanding what the rules are. They're looking at it and saying, okay, I now understand what a team is. There's no I in team. They're starting to learn all these different things. And that's where parents are now scouting for their child, saying this is going to be the next Kobe Bryant, this is going to be the next... Oh, there you guys are. Can you guys see me? Can you see the PowerPoint? No? No PowerPoints?
Take it off mute.
Is
We
there...
can see you, but not the PowerPoint.
I don't want you guys to see me. I want you guys to see the PowerPoint.
Yeah, it has to be changed on your end, I believe.
Let me see if... Let's see...
Cody, you said everybody over there in the station can see the PowerPoint?
Whoa, what just happened? Are you joking me? I didn't even touch anything.
Also see it?
Hello, so Tuba City can't see me, or they can't see the PowerPoint, and now the screen just went dark with the giant X in the middle with his SIM card. Yeah, what does that mean? Well, it was Tuba City only that couldn't see me now. Oh wait, now we're back. Okay, now I just lost Tuba City completely. Is there anybody on campus? Okay, can you take a look at it? I don't know what's going on. Okay. Let's see, I believe it's 1050? No, 6600. Okay, thank you.
too.
We just lost to the city. That's not good. So you guys can see this, right? Can nobody see this? Okay, we can. Alrighty, so I don't know what happened. So nutrition, children need an average of 24,000 calories every day. No, 2,400 calories, not 24,000. That's way too much. So 2,400 calories every day. Breakfast should supply about 25% of the child's total daily calorie intake. So one of the biggest things that we always look at, even when you go into adulthood, what is one of the big things we always look at? Breakfast being the biggest meal of the day. But what do most people do?
Skip it.
They skip it. And they say, well, I'm going to lose weight, so I'm going to skip breakfast. Well, with children, they need that. Why? Because again, you're also looking at development, you're also looking at brain interaction, and within that, you need nutrients so that they're able to function throughout the day. So within that, nutritionists recommend plenty of grains, fruits, and vegetables. So within that, what is one of the big things that we realize? We realize that children eat too much what? Fatty food, sugary food, and low nutrient foods. So within that, we have hot Cheetos. And we see that on a daily diet. So is there any nutritional value in hot Cheetos? Why? Why do you think there's no nutritional value in hot Cheetos? Is there a reason? Because again, it's just a snack, right? That's all it was supposed to be. But individuals supply that as their overall daily food supplement. So now, research studies have shown that better nourished children are more energetic, less anxious. So now when we were looking at the poverty aspect of children who are hungry, we realized, why are they anxious? Why do you think they would be anxious? Why do you think a child would be anxious in that given environment if they did not have proper nutrients? So during the summer, what do they usually have? What's one thing that they have?
Ice cream.
Ice cream? So Winter Rock, what do children usually have during the summer? What is one of the things that they always provide during the summer? A provision. What's something they provide during the summer? It's usually done at schools. What's that?
Feeding program?
They have the feeding programs, right? The feeding programs, which sounds so creepy. I don't like the name. It sounds really weird. It's like the feeding programs. It's like, wow, that sounds so. I don't know if you guys ever gone towards over the hill, over into Red Valley. If you are from Red Valley, so over the hill. So if you are from Red Valley, you go in there. You have these big giant signs, and they're colored what? Big giant red letters, and it has the feeding program written all across it. When I saw that, all I thought of was The Purge. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this is horrible, this is the worst thing ever. But within that, malnutrition can lead to an illness, disease, or death, and within that, it leads to a detriment to their cognitive development, which then accumulates into middle childhood. So notice all these culminations happening. So within that, this is Fahad before and then after. Now, obesity. So the rates of overweight children, BMI, exceeds 18, and those Winter, can you put it on mute? Thank you.
It's not on you.
Okay, thank you. Wow, that was good. So within that, in the United States, the least affluent ethnic minority group have the highest incidence of obesity. So on the reservation, we see that. Do we see it as a concern? Do we see obesity as a concern? So now notice the linkage between obesity and also watching what? TV. So when we watch TV, how long do we usually spend on TV? On average? 6 hours a day. I don't watch TV. I don't have time. I have 168 students. I don't have time. So every time it's spent what? Either making a PowerPoint, putting up your quizzes, putting up your discussion questions, grading everything. So I don't have time. But when you have that much time and you're devoting it to what? Watching TV, what are they seeing? What do you usually see on TV? What's one thing you usually see?
Advertisements.
Food commercials, advertisements. Consistently, right? So most shows usually last about how long? 18 to 20 minutes. That's really how long they usually last. And then the rest is filled up with what? Commercials, 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 commercials. Sometimes the same commercial over and over and over and over again. How many actually notice that your children, any of your nieces and nephews, can actually quote every single commercial? Really creepy, right? They know it. They hear the song, they hear the jingle, and they're like, oh, that's what that is. And you're like, okay.
Who is this? Jake.
Either that or, yeah, you see all of these different things. And so when they're bombarded with all this information, Cuba City, you're back.
Yeah, but there's still no PowerPoint.
Okay, I think you're just going to have to fly solo with no PowerPoint. You're just going to have to listen to my voice. I'm sorry. So within that, we have now social and cultural changes. So now we also have social media. And so within that, now you have a lot of kids who are influenced by social media. And as they're influenced by social media, they're seeing all these different ads. How many are on Instagram right now? So when you're on Instagram, how many have ever had a conversation with somebody? You're talking about food.
No.
Or you're talking about something, you're talking about some unique interaction. And then suddenly you go onto Instagram and you're noticing these different what? Ads for the things that you were talking about. So why do you think that happens? So Instagram, what did it ask? How many remember that? So when you pull out your phone and when you look at it, with Instagram, how many agree to all those different things? How many actually read through all the fine print? Or you just did not care and you just said, I need to have social media, and you clicked on it, read nothing of the legalese and everything else. You just went with it. You're like, oh, it shouldn't hurt me. Click. So when you do that, what did it ask for? It said it needed access to your microphone, it needed access to your camera, it needed access to all your files, it needed access to everything, so that when you're not aware, what's going to happen? It'll hear everything you're saying. Creepy. When I used to work with law enforcement, that was one of the things, Apache County used to do a training on that. One of the big things Apache County Sheriff used to do is tell us that, one, when you have a phone, make sure you cover this and cover this part because it'll turn on if somebody needed to and they can gain access to it. So, but we're talking about kids. We're not talking about that. I'm going literally off topic. So within that, socially being obese increased the likelihood that a child will be socially excluded and the object of ridicule by peers. So when a child is obese, what happens? They're not able to hang out with their friends, who, as you noted, were possibly a lot slimmer. And so when that happens, they become ridiculed, they get laughed at. And so now you see the psychological impact. So now, physical obesity can result in diabetes, which in turn can eventually lead to blindness, kidney failure, and stroke. As we went through that, we went through obesity, we talked about kidney failure, and when you look at all these different things, you see the impact that parents have on their children. And that's one of the big things. A lot of times they don't take that into account. They're simply thinking, I buy them all this stuff, so obviously they're doing okay. There's a little more to parenting than that. So rates of asthma, chronic illness of the lungs characterized by wheezing, coughing, and shortness of breath, are the highest in middle childhood. That's where you see a spike. You see a spike with children who are complaining of shortness of breath. Within that, boys, as well as they had a low birth weight, are also coming from where? Poor homes. So all of this, when you look at it, when you take into account all of this, what do you? Good evening. Yes. Yeah. Okay. They can't see the PowerPoint.
Does she know it's coming?
Okay. 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 Yeah, it's not allowing me to stop content. Yes. So I press it, I press stop content, and it just it shows me the lens of PC.cam. Yes.
It's a good breakfast burrito, dude.
It is. Yes, yes. Yes. Yes.
Spam. They hacked into your microphone. Spam, huh? Spam advertisements are gonna pop up on the phone now.
Yes, the stop sign. Okay, no, it's back on. Tuba City, can you see it?
Nothing.
Nothing. Can I just continue?
Just this class?
Okay. All right.
Is that the same? I don't think it's.
Everybody just walks out.
I don't know. I've been having, it's been having issues for the past couple of weeks.
Right when you showed it.
Yeah, sometimes it shows up, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it keeps going off and on.
So your
And
girlfriend. I thought I saw
so I've been, yeah.
I was like, is that Kristen? Should we get on? Kristen. Kristen's good. That's
Okay.
right. Who? Who's that? They adopted.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Or it might be her girlfriend's kid. I don't know.
Okay, so can I continue?
I could tie it around.
Okay.
It's a lot of people I don't remember from high school now.
Okay.
So, it's only certain people that I know now.
What'd you do
Other
with
than that,
this?
I'll remember them and I'll be like, hey, Corey, I was like, oh, shit.
Okay.
Harley Tyler.
Yes, yeah, there you go.
I didn't answer.
In and out.
Never seen him.
I heard he was working at TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just cutting off your power, that's it.